joining us at TechWare Labs. My name is Josh Martin, and today we're going to be unboxing the MSI Z68A GD65 motherboard. MSI has included a lot of features with this motherboard. First and foremost, obviously you can see you get the 3-year full MSI manufacturer's warranty. It does support the new 1155 Intel Core i series. We're going to be pairing it with an Intel Core i5 2400 processor for our benchmarking purposes. Some of the really interesting things about this motherboard though, you're going to see this has the 2nd generation Click BIOS, which in addition to having the mouse and keyboard capabilities in the BIOS screen in the startup, you also have the full BIOS functionality in Windows. Now this is the world's first motherboard with that capability, and so we're really interested to check that out and see what it offers. Also another first is this has the PCI Express Generation 3, which is going to give you 2 times the bandwidth capability of PCI Express 2.0, which was the previous standard. And again, this is the world's first PCI Express Generation 3 motherboard. So let's go ahead and get this open and take a look at what it has. We have, and it's difficult to see, I'll go ahead and open it. This is a expansion slot, internal USB 3.0. And you can see that's an internal header adapter. We'll get close-up pictures of this later. But this is the first motherboard I've personally reviewed that has the internal USB 3.0, where you don't have to route the USB cables outside of the motherboard. There are your standard SATA cables, 2 right angles, the I/O panel. They've included 2 additional right angle SATA cables, and these are smaller. This is really nice. Most motherboards I've worked with have only actually come with 2 adapters. They've also included a PCI Express to Molex adapter, a SLI video card adapter, got CD-ROM drive, instruction booklet, and a software booklet as well. Something really interesting that I wanted to point out, I've never seen this in any other motherboard. Truth be told, I've never even heard of it, and I'll go ahead and get some close-up pictures of this. But these are adapters that will plug onto the pins, and they have nodes on the end, so that way you can plug in your multimeter and determine exactly what voltage the motherboard's pulling for diagnostic purposes. This is the first time I've seen that. Something that I really enjoy seeing, a lot of motherboard manufacturers are including a set of standard adapters, which will make it a little bit easier to plug in your case and remove the motherboard if necessary, because it takes the standard 4 or 5 different wires that you have to adapt. You can put it on this nodule, and then it's just a single plug-in. And this is the motherboard itself. Obviously we have 2 PCI Express, and these are actually PCI Express 3.0, both of them. 3 of the 1X slots, 2 standard PCI. The overclocking Genie button. We also have a power and reset right on the motherboard. This is a very attractive looking board. Standard black, blue, and white highlight color coding throughout. They've really gone through a lot of detail to make this sure this is a nice, easy to use layout. You'll also see there's a lot of innovative features and branding on this board that just let you know the quality you're working with. Obviously you have the NVIDIA Slide certification, the ATI Crossfire certification. This does have the Lucid Virtue driver, which will allow you to use one traditional NVIDIA video card as well as the onboard video to get a total of 3 monitors. You're not going to be able to use that capability for gaming, but it will give you the capability of doing a lot more productivity with your 3 monitor setup. The multimeter adapter that we saw earlier plugged directly into this, and it's difficult to see. I'll get a close-up picture, but you have the ability to test the ground, the PCH IP05, the memory, the CPU graphics, and the CPU voltage, all from here. And with a multimeter, this will give you a really great diagnostic view when you're really pulling the extreme overclocking on this to find out what's causing your issue. Regulate your voltage and ensure that the motherboard is delivering exactly what it says. This motherboard is also SATA 6 in addition to USB 3.0. Here you can also see the SPDIF, PS2, standard USB 2.0, the DVI and the VGA headers, and we'll get close-ups of all this later with our photography. Now, in addition to the MSI board and the Intel processor, we're going to be pairing this drive with the OCZ Revo Drive X2. Now, this is a solid-state drive that plugs directly into the PCI Express slot, and it gives you unprecedented I/O speed. The OCZ Revo 2 utilizes the SandForce-driven controller. We're very excited to see the capabilities of this when paired with this MSI PCI Express 3.0 capable motherboard. Now join us as we take a look, get this installed in my Thermaltake Level 10 GT, and see what this baby can do.